Russian offensive spirals into a total catastrophe. Today, the false reports from the Russian Ministry of Defense have led to chaos erupting inside the town, with Russian commanders trying to create an illusion of victory. The stark discrepancy between the Russian maps and real front lines has just backfired, with disastrously widespread cases of friendly fire when Russian soldiers attack their own comrades by mistake. Prominent Russian military analysts are openly accusing their own Ministry of Defense of feeding lies to the public about what is happening in Kupiansk. They sound the alarm that official reports are nothing but anti-crisis science fiction, designed to divert attention, while the battlefield in chaos bleeds out Russian forces. According to even Russian analysts, Kupiansk is not under Russian control, nor anywhere close to it. However, the Russian Ministry of Defense insists the opposite, and in their latest report, they declared the town practically encircled, with the Ukrainian garrison trapped and almost destroyed. Russian officials boasted of conquering 5,667 fortified buildings, equating to two-thirds of Kupiansk, yet somehow claim Ukrainian forces lost only 1,800 men in the same period. Even more absurdly, a week ago, they declared that 700 Ukrainians were trapped, but 250 of them already eliminated, leaving 450 Ukrainian soldiers still fighting across 3,000 buildings. Subtracting the theoretical wounded, that would mean only 200 combat-ready Ukrainian soldiers holding over a third of a city, or 15 buildings per man. Russian analysts mock the arithmetic and note that if this destruction rate were true, then Kupiansk should have been fully cleared in one day, but even after a week, nothing changed. Instead, Ukrainians remain entrenched, Russian losses continue to skyrocket, and the ministry's numbers collapse under scrutiny. Russian analysts underline that cheerful reports are optimistic fiction that masks a battle spiraling out of control and leads to ambushes in areas that were officially already cleared, and assaults on supposedly captured strongholds going without fire or drone support. The main Russian tactic is infiltration, initially often sneaking through gas pipelines to appear behind Ukrainian lines and take key bridges under control. But this advantage is gone, as Ukrainian forces have flooded the pipelines, bombed their entrances, sealing them with barbed wire and explosives. Other Russian infiltrators creep in at night, hide in basements during the day, and hope not to be detected. Ukrainian drone operators and patrols hunt them down one by one, clearing houses and blocks and eliminating anyone found inside. Reports from soldiers on the ground indicate that Russian infiltrators are often poorly trained and lack food and water supplies, undermining their ability to conduct longer operations, in turn forcing them out of hiding to engage with Ukrainian fighters. The Institute for the Study of War reports that Russian commanders have ordered their soldiers in Kupiansk to execute any military-aged man they encounter, and dressed in civilian clothing to prevent detection by Ukrainian forces. Unfortunately for them, this policy has completely backfired, as prominent Russian analysts report a concerningly high level of friendly fire incidents, with Russian soldiers killing other Russian soldiers as they are dressed as civilians whom they were ordered to kill. This pattern is feeding paranoia and showcases a major collapse in ethics and discipline, as Russians cannot be even sure who is on their side. Russian analysts admit Ukraine still has the upper hand, with enemy forces clinging only to the northern edges, while the rest remains a deadly gray zone. Ukrainian commanders note that the casualty rate, despite Russia's Ministry of Defense's disinformation, even Russian analysts admit Kupiansk is far from captured and mock this sugarcoating. The reality is a brutal whack-a-mole, where Ukrainian defenders strike infiltrators in the air, on the ground, and even underground by depriving them of their route through the pipelines. The Russian ministry's triumphant numbers collapse under logic and basic calculation, while reality shows chaos, friendly fire, and a mounting Russian death toll. Kupiansk is far from a victory for Russia. In contrast, it is their graveyard, and this trend has continued for almost 2 full years. Teal has become 10-1 in favor of Ukrainians. Though strained, the defenders retained control of the town, with special forces operatives clearing basements and buildings, while mining Russian supply corridors in the rear, as Russian reinforcements continue to cross the Oskil River only on foot. They completely lack armored support and are easily destroyed. Meanwhile, Russian troops attempted to open new direction for assault near Stepove in Zaporizhia region, but were defeated. Southern Defense Forces, Russian occupation forces attempted to open a new direction for assault operations near the village of Stepove in the Zaporizhia region, but failed doing so. According to intelligence reports, the enemy concentrated its forces and equipment in the area of the village of Zherebianka and planned to storm Ukrainian positions in the direction of Lukyanivsky. Today, there have already been 2 such assaults in the morning on the village of Stepove, and in one of these combat clashes, the enemy even attempted a mass assault on motorcycles, using 6 vehicles. The spokesman added, Voloshin said that the occupiers tried to break into the settlement and entrench themselves in Ukrainian positions, but the defense forces repelled the attack, destroying both the motorcyclists and the enemy's equipment.